Good morning. This is Seek of the Scuff coming at you live with the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Oh boy. Yesterday, we finished up the investigation for this final case. We did the whole thing, and we started a bit late, so we ended a bit late. And today will probably be a similar thing, because we're going to try to do this entire thing in one go. Because I'd really like to start the next game tomorrow. You know, I'm just really excited. Now, I was thinking, actually, hold on, why don't we go over to the home scene? We're going to talk for a little bit, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Home scene. Actually, hold on, I don't need to do that, hold on. There we go, home scene. So, I was thinking about what we're going to be doing here. Once we're done with Ace Attorney. You know, because something I really need to put a lot of thought into, because Ace Attorney has been here with us on the channel for so long now, like a year and a half we've been going through these games, and it's been so wonderful. And every single time we finish a game, I say, okay, we're going to take a break before we start the next one, and then we never do. It is at most a week before we start the next one. And I was kind of planning to take a break with this one at the end, because we were going to go into Danganronpa, the new Danganronpa, wherever that came out, but it got delayed. So now, we don't have a visual novel to fill in that slot. So now we have this whole Ace Attorney week, and we're going to immediately go into number 2. Which will be either tomorrow or the day after. Hopefully tomorrow. You know, I would like to get through this whole game today. But, I need to figure out what we're doing afterwards. Because it's such a big thing that's going to be gone from here. And it's never coming back, probably, because, you know, Ace Attorney's done. It's not going to come back. Well, it probably will. Capcom wants money, but it's not really going to, like, have any big new entries for a long time, probably. So, I'm not sure. So, obviously, we have our Terraria still. Terraria is the only other game we have on our actually currently playing list. And in fact, a new update for it came out just today. The big update finally came out, and lots of things happened. Oh, lots of things, including 2 new secret seeds. Yeah, we still haven't finished our all seeds world, so we're not going to be resetting it, but I would like to take a look at those. Also, Mage finally got buffed. It's been ages. I mean, Mage used to be the best class in the game, by far, at least in the early game. And it's just been getting pounded with debuff and nerf after nerf after nerf. And they finally buffed it. I saw that in patch notes. I'm so happy about it. And I'm so excited to get back into Terraria, because that will definitely be next week. And of course we have Ocarina of Time whenever that comes out. But because those are like the only 2 things we really have to do after Ace Attorney is done, I think we're going to be doing the vote. And it'll probably be in the first week of September, assuming we, are able to maintain our schedule and get all the way through the final Ace Attorney game. Or even if we can't, we'll probably do the vote then anyways, in case it ends up being a game I don't have. But because, I don't know how we're going to do the vote yet. Because, I mean, we had the list. I don't even have all the games on the list. But then there's also games that are not on the list that might get suggested. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But, something else I wanted to know. Something else I want to talk about is Peak. Isn't that a weird thing? It's a bit of a weird jump. I don't really have anything to segue into it. But I was thinking recently, I think I'm finally done with Peak. Because the new update, a new update came out recently, right? Just like yesterday. And the main purpose of it was to prevent the amulets you need to do Ascent 8 from spawning in the walls. Because it happened the day before, and I experienced that. And it did a number of things. It nerfed the frogs again, which understandable. It also nerfed the Book of Bones, so that when you cook it, it no longer removes the curse from it. You still get the full curse. And I was thinking that I think I have completed the full Peak experience, because the day before that patch dropped, the day where the amulet was stuck in the wall, I had decided to do one more run. Oh, no, they did deserve it. They were a menace. A true menace. But, what was I saying? No, I decided to do one more run. Because I had gotten all the achievements. I had, gotten my fancy Scoutmaster sash and the little gold pin. And I decided to do one more run, just as like a victory lap. And when I said one more run, I did mean it. I was gonna do one run on Ascent 8, no resetting, no trying for items at the different items at the beginning. I just go from start to finish, one try. And there's a lot of ancient luggages on that map, on the thing clipped in the wall. And I found one in the shore, and it was my favorite item, the Book of Bones, which notably, it seems the Book of Bones loves me so much. Every time I play around a peak, or almost every time, I get it, or at least someone gets it, and it's always brought up that I played with my younger sibling, and he never finds it, but every time he plays with me, he gets it, or I get it. But I got it that time. I was like, oh wow, wonderful, Book of Bones in shore. That is like the best thing I could have gotten. I can use my entire lantern on night 1, just to continue climbing up the mountain as fast as possible, and then when I get to the top, I can cook the book, and then I'll get rid of the curse that I already have, and I'll no longer worry about the coal anymore. It's so nice. Then, of course, I got to the statue. It's clipped into the wall. That's a problem, and I was very frustrated at first, because I thought I had to do my run tomorrow. So I paused the game, and I went to look up to see if anyone else is having this issue. They were, of course, but someone proved that it is possible to clip into the wall just barely enough to grab the amulet. So I decided that this one run I was doing would be the run. So I, started trying to clip into the wall, shoving myself into the crack, running into the wall, pulling the backpack out over and over. And I did eventually get the amulet and continue my run, but it took so long that it became nighttime again. And I had already lost my lantern at that point, so I had to use the Book of Bones without cooking it, which combined with the curse you get from being on Ascent 7 or higher, meant that half my bar was cursed. I think it's exactly 50%, which is really, really bad. But I continued the run, hoping that I would find a cure-all at some point. And I found a lot of ancient luggages. I opened every single one, popped every statue, and not a single cure-all. So in the end, I did that whole Ascent 8 run, and with the actual Book of Bones having the proper debuff on it, which is, half stamina. And now that they've made it official, where the Book of Bones is always like that, I think I have actually done everything in Peak I could do to challenge myself. And the only real thing they could do to add on to that would be if they changed Ascent 8 to also require you to carry the flare. But even then, I did that, because the first time I did the Ascent, I did it blind, so I didn't know how it worked at all. I just knew that you had to free the Scoutmaster's soul. That's what the in-game tooltip says. So I assumed it had to do with the gems, and I assumed I would still need the flare. So I went through carrying all 4 gems and the flare, which was miserable, mind you. And I had only 2 free slots, and even then, one of the slots was not free because I had a bundle of balloons in it, which I absolutely 100% needed in order to get through that run. So it was really, really rough. But between that run and my Book of Bones run with the actual curse, I think it's finally time to let it rest. Unless someone I know wants to play, of course. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's not like I'm going to be uninstalling it. But yeah, balloons are so good. Yeah, Balloons, Grapple Claw, and Book of Bones. Those 3 are absurdly better than everything else in the game. It's not even close. I mean, I suppose some of the items can come close in multiplayer. Like a Scout's Generosity, or the Blow Dart, which is effectively a 100% cure-all. But yeah, in single player, those 3 items are by far the best. But yeah, I'm not going to uninstall it or anything. It's only a few gigabytes. And although my computer is actually nearing its limit on memory, because I've been working on a big project that takes a lot of space. So much space editing does. I'm going to leave it there for now, just in case I ever get the urge again. I've had enough of the falls. Oddly enough, the fall damage in Peak is the thing that hurts me the least, actually. I mean, when I die, it is usually the fall damage. But, the achievement for completing a run without taking fall damage was not actually hard for me, because before I actually attempted to go for it, I at most took 1 instance of fall damage per run, because it's the thing that I am most wary about always, and I play very, very carefully most of the time. There was that one time we played on stream where the roots had just come out and I got blown off the mountain by wind. But I don't think I've died to wind since then. Oh, no, I have. I was in a multiplayer game. Was that wind? No, it wasn't wind that killed me. Someone ate a mushroom, actually. And they it made them fart and blow up, and it knocked us all off a cliff. Oh, yeah, taking fall damage you shouldn't. Yeah, that's why I play so carefully, because when I realized there was a bad for no fall damage, I realized that every time I had taken fall damage that wasn't lethal, it was because I just stubbed my ankle on something. So since then I've taken a very, very safe approach to how I descend at all times. But that being said, I think it's about time we hop into the game, isn't it? After all, we're trying to get through the entire thing. And not the entire thing, but the entire final stretch in one go, yeah? But yeah, they really don't. Yeah, but yeah, can you blame them? They're scouts. Oh, I thought he crashed and whatever. I don't know why I'm trying to defend the scouts. It's weird. So let me close some tabs I don't need, because those might make stream a bit unstable. And let's see, where is my game tab? Here it is. Game scene. I need to sort my OBS at some point, don't I? I really do. It's a little bit of a mess. So here, let's stand up for this final stream. You know, I would love to get a standing desk to match whenever I'm standing up, like my little model. That'd be nice. I just really want a standing desk, but you know, the desk I have now is good. Even if it's a bit small. So unmute and tab over to the game. And I hope my controller turned off because of how long we were talking. That's nice. I always enjoy whenever I actually have something to talk about at the beginning. And I quit out, as always, on the save screen, so I haven't seen anything of this yet. When I woke the following morning, Sato-san was already gone. Oh, right, she left us. Right, she had to go back to Japan. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. So began an even longer day than last, one that I would remember for the rest of my days. Oh, future narration. Interesting. So, I am still wondering what's going on. But here's the thing, they still haven't even. Actually, no. How to say? Last time I talked a lot. Oh, I know. I do enjoy the abbing. I wish I could do it more. But you know, I have been doing it more, which was something I like, because you know, doing these streams is kind of practice for me, just being able to talk at a wall, which I can actually do if the talking is directed at myself, like if I'm talking to myself. But obviously when I'm here, I'm not trying to talk to myself, I'm trying to talk to an audience. What was I saying? Oh wait, last time I brought up a lot that this game is going to have, or feels like it's going to have a lot of loose ends that are going to be resolved in the sequel, like whatever the heck's going on with Von Zykes. I'm really interested to see if that is the case or not, because this game, not this game, but this series is surprisingly good at resolving everything in the last minute. Good morning, Gina. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. So, where's our friend then? Sorry? You know, her in the fancy dress. Susato, or however you say it. I don't know. Oh, Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Forget about me if you like. Go out and see her off. It's fine. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again. One day. Not to mention, she's definitely already gone. She left at 3 a.m. Even so. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning! Oh, who is this? Shalms, probably? Good morning, you two! Oh, no, it's Iris. Oh, and Wagahai. How are you feeling, Jenny? Did you manage to sleep? Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. Isn't that right, Waggy? Oh, and there it goes. Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. I'll let him have a nose around. What arm can it do? Oh, that reminds me. I bought a paper on the way here. You know, you say what arm can it do, but that cat can do a lot of damage, especially considering those books down at, like, human shin level. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? What do you say, Runo? Ginny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. I assume the bad news is that the Reaper is on the stand, yeah? Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. A record amount of rain has fallen this morning, and carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Uh-huh. The bad news was a weather report? So, I hope that Susie made her train to Dover, and that the train isn't delayed on its way to port. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well, the rain is forecast to subside this afternoon, so even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it? Oh, are you saying that Susato is going to be here? I thought that was actually going to be a final farewell yesterday. I couldn't give a monkey's, really. If only all good news canceled out the bad. And look, the trial has made headlines too. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. See? How do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. I can't, because you're covering your face. Don't worry. Runo will show everyone that this headline is nonsense. I will. And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headline will be... Discharge diver is dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Runo? Oh, yes. Let's hope so. Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you. How is that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it? It's like she was still here. Alright, let me take a look at that right now. Because this game loves putting important things on evidence, which I really, really like. Because not every game in the series has had 3D evidence. And it's nice to see that this one has like every single piece of evidence in 3D. Like in the original trilogy, this would have been just like text on the screen if you look at it. Pawnbroker perishes in pick purse plunder. How awful. For Ginny, I mean. But tomorrow's headline will be Discharge Divers Dauntless Do-Gooder, right? Yes, something like that. If possible, I'd like to go even bigger. Bigger? How? Proud pickpocket protects planet post trial. Perhaps? Protects planet? Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow now. It's going to be so great. I'm sure it will be. I guess there's nothing else on the paper then. It's just a rehashing of what we already talked about. Good luck then, Runo. I'll do what I can. Huh? Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does, but still. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement. I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but... Thank you, Iris. That's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris. Yes, Ginny? Well, I was wondering, is all, about Sholmes. Did they fix them all up? All up? Yes, the operation was a great success, but Hurley still hasn't come around yet. That is a lie. We saw him awake last night in the cutscene. Eh? I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up. I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh, right. No Susato-san, no Mr. Sholmes. It's down to me today, to prove that Gina is innocent of this crime. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense, the trial is about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. It's time then. Yes. Let's go, Gina. Iris. Lead the way, Runo. Okay. What a strange ensemble we have. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from the start finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. Oh, here we are, here we are. Von Zykes is back on the stand. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is ready. The defense is ready. Lord Von Zykes, my lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the Public Prosecution Service? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. Yes, and then 2 months ago, you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? Oh, okay, we are touching on it. Okay. I wonder if he's involved with Miss Gilded, and McGilded kept him out of the court. In what one might describe as your former life 5 years past, you dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Yet today, you chose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it a little more than a little befuddling, Counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Reaper 2 months ago. Yes, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. Oh, what? Hold on. So, is he against people from Japan in particular, or is he just against people who think are dishonest? What? Did he really just say that? He means you now, Runo. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? Oh, hold on. Is he talking about Dr. John Wilson? Or were they acquainted? Oh, they might have been. And that torrid look of hatred in Lord Von Zykes' eyes. Was that directed solely at me? Or was he talking about all Japanese people? An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Von Zykes. Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all of London's malefactors. Your lordship is too kind. Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defense? Hey, whoa, 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 whoa. These people were most certainly not chosen. Are these? There's no way these people were chosen randomly. We know these people. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can remember all of them. So on the left, we have, the man from the previous trial, the landlord that our friend, was living under. We have a maid who has shown up in a previous trial. I forget which one, but she definitely has. I admittedly don't know that blonde fellow. I think he is new. The doctor there, he uses the exact same character model as the man in the green coat from the last trial, so I assume he's the same person. And he, considering he's a doctor, he was probably operating on Sholmes. The lady with the headset has absolutely shown up in our previous trial. I think it was the first one, actually. Like the first one we did here in Britain. So 2 trials ago. And the guy on the far right, we have seen him. Where did we see him at? Was he, Oh, there was, on the boat, there was the ballerina who escaped from Russia or something and was pretending to be a terrorist or like a rebellion leader. Is that her? I think it might be. I don't remember if she had a pet mouse though. I know she had a pet. Okay, well, if this really is random, it's certainly quite the coincidence considering I know all but one of them. Former lieutenant of the British Army here. Don't you know? Chaps like me were born ready. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future. Absolutely, absolutely everything. And I'm ready for it. Okay, well, I was wondering what was on your head. This is a guy who's obsessed with stereoscopes, and oddly enough, we have seem to have been obsessed with them this trial, this investigation. So, I assume we're going to be talking about those with him. I don't understand. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have? Oh! He was operating on Sholmes. He's talking about the bullet. He can't have left it in there. Did the bullet not remain in Sholmes? The bullet go through Sholmes' body all the way, and they didn't. Huh? Something's going on with the bullet. Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take a bus to Crystal Tower, please. Is something wrong, Bruno? Oh, not exactly. It's just... I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? But it is quite strange. The jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know. So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped. Very well. Now, Lord Von Zykes, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of this case. As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, there's never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. Prosecution presents the photographic print of the crime scene. This is not the crime scene, it's just the body. As the court will observe, there is a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near instant death. Moving on to the findings of the Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? Well, he'll get to it. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. Someone like the accused, you might say. Oh! The prosecution wishes to present this autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord. Indeed. The court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please. Alright, let me read that. Just in case there's extra information in there. Well, once we get the other thing as well. Let's see. Autopsy report. Pop Windybank. Died between 1 and 1:30 a.m. Reported by us. Single bullet wound found in the upper half of the victim's back. No other sign of trauma. They didn't say if the bullet left the body, though. So I'm going to assume the bullet was in the body when he died. He was quite the large man, after all. And in here, as always, our lovely, lovely magnifying glass does a whole lot of nothing for us, unfortunately. But it is good to know that we can look at the body, I suppose. I now ask the court to turn its attention to the plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. You did not include the cat flap. You're supposed to do that. Oh, it's not a cat flap, but I keep calling it that. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry. A door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present. You know, I'm surprised it doesn't wrap further around the back side. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. Oh! It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand a gun used to fire the fatal bullet. How do you know that that was the gun that shot? And also, you didn't mention that she was unconscious. Well, that's it then, isn't it? Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket anyway? She's one of those filthy drabs that live in the slums in the East End. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got the blood on her hands then. What are the jurors waiting for? The girl's guilty as hell. Objection! We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume her guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Yeah, that's not a great way of phrasing it, Naruhodo. That makes it sound like you are saying that she defended herself. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Yeah, and we haven't gotten a chance to present ours at all, either. Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses. Oh, good gracious! After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pickpurse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. The court will take the floor plan and the firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Von Zykes. At once, my lord. Okay, I want to look at these two. Particularly, I want to look at the gun. Well, we'll look at the floor plan just in case. As always, magnifying glass. Very not helpful. This is the table in the middle. Counter. Storeroom. There is a flap on this door. Very important to note. Let's see here, though. No bullets in it currently. No blood on the gun. In fact, it looks like there's nothing on the gun itself to inspect. I suppose we could inspect the cylinder, but no need. There are signs of a single discharge. That is correct. This isn't good. I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo. I think that's because it has. Let us begin. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on the 16th of April this year. Okay, okay. Oh, here's our thieves. Oh, okay, and also Gregson. Witnesses, state your name and occupations for the court. Name's Nash Scullin. Occupation is, baddie. Professional baddie. Oh, really? Okay. That word has taken on a different connotation. Her name's Ringo Skulligan. Occupation's, same as him. Tobias Gregson, Scotland Yard Inspector. That's right. We're what they call the Three Scullin Brothers. I don't think he's part of the group. Unless this whole time he's had a skull on his back, I suppose. That'd be quite funny. What are you looking at me like that for? Don't let me in with a lot of you. Or blimey, that's cold. Don't you know what we're going through? It's our older bruv, Lost contact with him, we have. So we're scoured on every shady corner of the capital. And then last night, we come across you! The very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo? He is, Anash, he is. The very spit of him. So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call ya Big Bro Scully. Come on, leave it out, you two. Scully's skulking. And that's before he's run out of chips. Well then, Inspector Sulky Gregson. I'm begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The skulking brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Thieves, are they? That's these three? No, my lord. Begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these 2 brothers illegally entered an establishment with the intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove, you mean to say, what an extraordinary coincidence! Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Oh, he is so tiny. I didn't realize he was that short. Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the near future. With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit you to take the stand, or permit them to take the stand. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question, what exactly you saw. Happy to. Oh, because a skulkin's never skulkin'. He's not going to turn out to actually be related, is he? Oh, get out of it. That would be interesting if that was the case. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours, and the gas door was ajar, see? It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was. But once we got inside, Court blimey lummy, we heard a gunshot from the back room. We wanted to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside. We've never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that, nice and quiet. No, you didn't. You shot us, or you tried to, then you ended up shooting Sholmes. A terrible coincidence, it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. These witnesses' testimony is consistent with a crime scene in every detail. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside, and within, only the victim and the accused were found. But they were both found lying on the ground, dead and unconscious. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. No, oh my god. Oh, it frustrates me. I know this is just how the game goes, but it does frustrate me whenever they end up siding against us before we even had a chance to present things. So this is kind of a thing that the game does. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna turn my space heater on, because it's cold today. I'm gonna rant afterwards. Okay, now. When these games are displaying the competence or fearsomeness of your prosecutors, they have this unfortunate habit of having them turn the entire courtroom against you before you have even had a chance to make an argument for yourself. Now, to be fair, with the structure of these games, you don't actually usually get to make an argument. Usually you are just exclusively counter-arguments for the first 2/3 of the trial. You know, because Phoenix, or whoever you're playing as, presumably stays up all night. Sometimes explicitly stays up all night, thinking about how to approach the case, which is why they do actually have their own ideas. Because, after all, they're not self-inserts. They are their own characters. But the prosecution always starts off with the opening statement, and adding evidence that you do not have access to. But it always upsets me so much whenever the whole court gets turned against you in one go, like without your input at all. Especially because sometimes it feels super unearned. I think I've mentioned before that I like this judge. I do. Even with this incident, I like him. But one of the reasons I don't like the judge in the first games is because he is very, very privy to just letting the prosecution walk all over him. Because in those games, there's no jury, mind you. That's like an important plot point and meta-narrative point that there's no jury. So it's just the judge deciding. And sometimes the prosecutor will come in and just completely take the reins, and the judge just lets it happen, and he goes along with it until you call him out, or Phoenix calls him out at the last second. And I just don't like it as a way to show a character's influence. Now, it can work. Like with Von Karma, Manfred Von Karma, mind you, it works really well. Because Manfred Von Karma is probably older than the judge. He is much, much more accomplished. And he is genuinely a threat to you. Not only in the sense that he is going to ruin the case, and also your life. Or not your life, but Edward's life. But also, at one point during the investigation, he does actually show his true colors and tase you. And leave you, like, unconscious on the floor. So, Manfred taking control makes sense. Damon Gant taking control makes sense, because Damon Gant is the chief of police, and he is also somehow the judge's boss, because, like, in Ace Attorney universe, the chief of police... Well, he's not the chief of police. He's like the chief of the entire district, actually. But the point is, Damon Gant, big man, it makes sense for him to do that. But he's not even a prosecutor. He's just an important figure. But here, with Von Zykes, he's taking control, and he is explicitly leaving out important information, which is going to be super easily turned on him. And it just doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great. Because at least with, like, Edgeworth, if he's going to do something that could easily be turned on him, he had something to go with it. I think the most infamous example is in your first case against him. He cites a dying message written in blood as a piece of important evidence. And of course, Phoenix, being prepared, because you know you did the investigation already, goes, no. Look, this whole thing, it doesn't work, because she died instantly, according to the autopsy report. So she couldn't have written the dying message. And of course, Edgeworth, in his ever infamous moment, goes, no. I requested them do a second autopsy report this morning, and they said that actually she could have lived long enough to write it. So, you know, updating an autopsy report is crazy, but it works. It explains why he did something so foolish right off the bat, or foolish seeming. Because it wasn't. It was a trap. And in this case, I can't perceive this as a trap. I mean, it might be. It could be. But right now, it just seems like Von Zykes is charging straight ahead with no thoughts or plan. Anyway, rant over. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now. Of course, counsel, if you please. Counsel? Yes. What's the matter, Uno? Sorry, I was just stunned in the silence for a minute by the blatant lies being told by the pair in the stand. I know it's all nonsense, because I saw it with my own eyes. I'll just have to expose their testimony for the pack of lies it is. I will note, it is a bit... Well, not really. I'll say it's a bit odd that we are the defense attorney in a trial that we are a witness to, but I suppose that's how it usually is. Not usually, but it's happened before. Anyway, let me see. Where do we want to start with? We can't prove that the door wasn't ajar. Sure. Is that begging you to come in? You heard a gunshot from the back room? That we can't prove that otherwise. Doors locked on the inside, that is true. But this one, no, this is a big lie. Let's see. Do we have Oh, we don't. I was about to say, can we bring up Holmes or Sholmes? No, we don't actually have anything that links to Sholmes right now. Which is really odd, actually. Are we sure? No. I think we just had to I think we just had to press here then. We don't have anything saying that Sholmes got shot by them. You didn't do or take anything? Is that your story? Well, it was bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Wanash, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. So, with no time on your hands out of your pockets, you just left. Nice and quietly, you say? That's right, Governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers, we are, not bludgers. Oh, we are, Nash. We are. Never even pulled me dukes out of me Lucy lockets. So, you'd clearly like us to believe. Oh, so you'd clearly like us to believe. I thought, yeah, that was a weird line. Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? The saint's alive! They fired a gun, you say? Nah. Blimey, Governor, you ain't telling us it was you in the doorway? It was. Why? The bleeding Nora. Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with a gun, and as you fled the scene, you fired that gun at London's greatest detective, Herlock Sholmes. They shot the great Mr. Sholmes? I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. The great Sholmes. That's beyond the pale. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance was rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession. Oh! Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, Counsel. Okay, wait, so he is going along with it. I wonder what his game plan is. Because I did go on that little mini rant a second ago about how I didn't like how he was just walking over us and turning the courtroom around and using blatant lies. But he seems to just be going along with it. Was he planning to let them lie? I don't really like that. The court will hold this weapon as evidence. Vulcan Brothers guns. I need to look at that. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. For yes, there are telltale signs of a spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. In fact, yeah, let me look at it right now. Nothing of note externally. Just the things they told me about, because I can't, like, zoom in or anything. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Well, I don't need evidence. Because I was there. No, you do need evidence. However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of this rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast to your incompetence and move on. Okay, no, I was right. I just don't like how he's doing this. Because we do have evidence. In fact, he is the one who gave us the evidence. The autopsy report. Because we were the one who reported it. Okay. Evidence that these two fired the gun before they left Woodybanks that night. The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker shop that night? Well, I suppose if we really need to, we could use that, what was it? The calendar, but we don't actually have the calendar as evidence. I just noticed this case has a weird thing where we inspected a lot of stuff, but we didn't actually get evidence out of it. Let me read this. Victims found deceased On the last scheduled omnibus of the day, with a stab wound to the abdomen. The victim was Mason Milverton from the East End. Defendant Magnus McGilded. Conviction was assured with 3 eyewitness testimonies. However, a surprise 4th witness testimony resulted in acquittal due to insufficient evidence. Okay. And that's not it, because that's Mr. Mason's blood. Oh, but the blood sample forfeit. Oh, that's where the thing is. There we are, right in here. The evidence is in this portfolio. What on earth do you have there, Counsel? During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio. And you claim to have evidence the court is demanding therein? Yes, my lord. No more dallying then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves the witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? This one right here. What we were looking at. What is that? Explain. It's a photographic print taken at Windybank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident. From the scene of the crime, is it? Also, I must say, they developed these photos very fast. Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged in there. Yes, as your lordship noticed. The bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death. The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometimes after the calendar had been set to the 16th. That's right. While it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes that this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun in the pawnbrokers that night. Ah! I must say, it's interesting that these guys are on our stand. I wonder how long they're going to be there. Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord von Zykes? If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection. What? Oh, so many smashed glasses. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes. Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor. You're gonna let us in the soup. We had a deal. You weren't gonna get him into the details. Tell him, Sulky. Set the bloke straight. I have nothing to add. So he knew, did he? Von Zykes knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes. It would seem now that I owe my learned Nipponese friend a word of gratitude. What do you mean? What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Von Zykes? As has been established at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brother's gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim. In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all. So, that's it. That was an odd handshake. That's it. Oh, we didn't have nothing to do with it. We didn't do Nash, we didn't. That's what I reckon. Your crimes include unlawful entry, intent to steal, perjury, and, let us not forget, attempted murder. Quite a catalog, eh, fellas? We're in for it now, bruv. Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. Where is he going with this? Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery. Eccentric? Says who? Not me. Don't give me that look. He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop. Hey, the cameras are finally coming up. I'd almost forgotten about those. Oh, this is one of Hurley's red-handed recorders. What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device. Hold on. I need a... Ah! No, that's not what I want. This. I just need a... Hold on. I need to get something open. Is this what I needed? I think this is what I needed. This is not... because I needed to keep my... I have a note thing open that tells me how long these, cases are supposed to be. So I'm using this to estimate, like, if we're going to be able to do this or not, because it's been about an hour. Let me see. We should be able to. We should be able to. Okay. Every half hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he'd be caught red-handed. The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. Okay. So far, a whole lot of nothing. As the court will observe, the copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. In fact, there were 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer to the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here, and here. Oh right, I forgot they're on the ceiling. I was about to ask how one of them is in the middle of the aisle. So you say these cameras produce a print every half hour? I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activities in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. Ha! That's a bit of friar tuck, eh, bruv? Lady Luck loves a skulkin'. Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? Must have been just after 1, right, bruv? Must have been, Nash. Must have been. Yeah, just gone 1. In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment... What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Oh, good lord! Oh, good lord! It's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim of the shop counter. I wonder what led to this. Because first of all, that's his gun. So, and we don't know how she got it. But also... Oh, I wonder. Did she try to rob him to as a front for getting the proof? No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to the storeroom. Quite. One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take the photographic print as evidence. If you please, counsel. I don't believe it. Ginny. In short, the accused is the one only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank. I don't think so. Oh, who is this? I say, my lord. Who is this? Oh, I say, my lord. Wonder if I might put in a word at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullets to the knee in the Battle of my wand, 1880, don't you know? Decorated Court and all that, but forced to retire from service, sadly. Oh, 1880. So this is like late 1800s, or maybe even early 1900s. Of course, some metal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and what exactly is your point? Carried on in the battle after retirement, you see. The battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now, leading a small squadron. 6 men, all good and true. And we're all going down together. You mark my words. One for all and all for one. Is he trying to say that they're all about to vote guilty? The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached an agreement, have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes. This is the Garadeb squadron position, sir. What? No, it'd be too soon to make a judgment here. Let us report on the courts, men, on the double. No, you haven't even heard our argument yet. Oh, I don't like these juries. They upset me. His lordship insists on our promptitude at all times. That goes for making decisions, too. I think you'll find the truth as clear as day now. I could just reach out and touch it. I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember. Situation clear. Stop. No room for doubt. Stop. Truth now undeniable. Stop. I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Oh, yeah, we have to hear their voices. I always forget about that.
Guilty.
Yep. And the overdramatic fire, as always. It does indeed appear the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph. It must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned. But Genie didn't shoot him. No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination. Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Here we go. Judicial findings, number 1. All the evidence clearly points the finger of guilt at this young pickpocketine. As a household maid, I should like to see all filthy eyesores promptly and rigorously eliminated. I think you'll find that if you look at the photograph in stereo, the truth will just pop out. If I have left it in there, I should think there'll be repercussions by now. Mind made up. Stop. Global radio transmission, a verdict to follow. Stop. In Motherland, we say never judge by clothes. Judge by head. I am convinced the brothers are innocent. The circumstances of the crime and evidence do indeed implicate the defendant rather comprehensively. In the storeroom, locked from the inside, in which the victim and the accused were discovered alone, and in the accused's hand, the fatal revolver, the firing of which was heard by these witnesses. Not to mention this print. Take it from a chap who's seen action on the battlefield. That young girl's on the verge of pulling the bally trigger. She does have her finger on the trigger. That's a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, thanks a lot, Mr. Sholmes. Oh dear, apparently these cameras were supposed to help, not hinder. I'm afraid I think you have an uphill struggle ahead of you. But Gina didn't shoot Mr. Windybank. Which means there's more to this situation than we've yet to see. Agreed. You have the floor, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination. Okay. I didn't get anything immediately off of that. So definitely gonna be a pressing situation. Yeah. Now you say if you look at the photograph in stereo, you think the truth will pop out. Do they mean this literally at the moment? They might. That being said, though, I don't think I can actually look at it in stereo. Because we only had the one. And my magnifying glass, as always, seems to be rather useless, to say the least. Okay, well, let me ask you about this. What do you mean? What do you mean look at the photograph in stereo? Oh, sorry, what? Don't you know? If you look at the photograph print normally, it looks as though the pickpocket girl is about to shoot the victim, obviously. But there's no indication that the defendant ever fired the gun. All I'm saying that if you look at the same print in the stereo, it would reveal all sorts of new information. By any chance, are you a fan of stereoscopes? Oh, how did you know? Let's call it a lucky guess. It never gets old. Seeing the two prints merge into one before your eyes? It's extraordinary, it's captivating, it's the height of modernity. Of course. Oh yes, I think you'll find the stereoscope here is here to stay. Giving us new perspectives we could only dream of before. It's the greatest invention the world has ever seen. If only it could give me a new perspective on this case, I might agree with you. Okay, now, juror number 4, you seem to be concerned about the state you left Mr. Shelms in. Please tell me. What exactly have you been muttering about all this time, sir? You keep talking about having left something somewhere, or something like that. Ah, so sorry. As you can probably tell, he's too similar to the judge. As you can probably tell, I'm a surgeon. A surgeon? That totally passed me by. Of course, people conducting surgery in this country aren't considered to be doctors, oh no. Even though me and my kind are at the forefront of medical science, the real brains in the field. So, what is it that you think you've left behind? Ah, well, that's a little embarrassing, to be honest. You see, I was operating on someone yesterday. Standard thing, went in through the abdomen. But when I'd finished the procedure, I couldn't find my scalpel anywhere. What? Did he? Surely not. Exactly. Surely not, you'd say to yourself, don't you? Worrying, isn't it? That's what's been troubling me this whole time. Could I really have left my scalpel inside the fellow's belly? No, of course I couldn't. So, there you have it. Like I said, a little embarrassing, really. That's one way of putting it. The other is manslaughter. That's exactly my concern. And seeing this case appears to be all but sewn up, I need to focus on trying to remember exactly what I've sewn up elsewhere. Now, I'm sure I made sure everything was back as it should be. Well, as sure as you can be without being sure. I'm sure you need to be more sure. That is terrible. I hope it's not actually left in there, especially if it's Sholmes. You tell me next. What about you? Please tell me you're not villain Bolshevik. The Russian revolutionary. Revolutionary? Da, I believe there is such a rumor. It's just a rumor? As you see, I have unfortunate appearance. I look like vicious criminal. Your words, not mine. You just want to point that out. People call me revolutionary, murderer, an autocrat. And which glove fits? Oh, let's see. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. Right. That didn't sound staged at all. You'll forgive me for having my doubts. To be treated like a vicious criminal all the time. It is very painful. People do not realize. So I have much sympathies for these brothers. People say they are criminals only because of how they look. The Skulkin brothers? Maybe they went inside pawnbroker's shop. But they have done nothing wrong. That is all I want to say. The Skulkin brothers did nothing wrong that night. Alright, well, first of all, that's one not-so-little misunderstanding I'll need to clear up straight away. Okay, and here's our looping dialogue. We can skip through this. So, am I able to present things to them? I always forget how this mechanic works. Yeah, I know. Looping dialogue. Go through it. Go through the motions. No, I can't present things to them. In which case, I'll have to just keep pressing, I suppose. Let's do the maid next. Polishing the bench, I see. Again. The maid's work is never done. Not a blemish must remain. What exactly do you mean by filthy eyesores? On my way to market for his lordship, I have to pass through the East End. The place is full of beggars, pick-pursers, and crossmen. The scum of the earth. A little harsh, perhaps. Let me be plain. If it were up to me, all those back slums would be made spick and span or eradicated. At least we have people like the great detective working to achieve those important goals. You're referring to Mr. Herlock Sholmes? That's right. I like to keep abreast of his exploits by reading Rance magazine in between my duties. He does wonders, cleaning up London streets. In my opinion, he should be declared an honorary maid of the capital. Mr. Sholmes? A maid? Oh, you know, actually, I would like to see him in a maid outfit, though I still want to see him with his pink shirt on with no vest first. It's really quite unforgivable. Gutter scum having the audacity to shoot our very greatest detective. Uh-huh. Minor detail. It was the two brothers who's on the stand who shot Mr. Sholmes, not the defendant. Minor detail indeed. They're all gutter scum as far as I'm concerned. Well, it just might be an idea to get our facts straight anyways. Okay, here's what we need. Yes, alright. I shall amend my statement. And now I can pit you against our friend over here, right? There we go. And those two statements clearly contradict one another. Good lord. Counsel, explain yourself. Oh, my statement? Contradictory? Contradict. Juror number 6. You got the wrong end of the stick. I do not have stick. I have mouse. As juror number 2 said earlier, when the Skulkin brothers fled the scene on the night in question, they fired a shot from their revolver. Yes, they shot poor Mr. Sholmes in the abdomen, I understand. Surely you're not going to tell the court now that you didn't hear. Abdomen. Sir? Sorry, my English is still learning. You are telling the court you didn't hear, right? Yeah. I think this is a guy from the previous case, or he looks like the guy from the previous case. Way back on the boat. Forgive me, I did not hear. Hearer's word, abdomen. Part of person's body containing stomach and other vital organs. If this is what you mean, you should say in plain English. I am Russian, not native speaker. Who would have thought it was a good idea to let this man be on the jury again? So, you are telling me these brothers who look like criminals were lying. They said before we never done nothing. But truth is they shot detective. This is double negative. Yes, that's exactly right. Lying is wrong, especially when lie is said by a person who looks like criminal. Coming from you, that seems surprisingly prejudiced. That means, when they said we never took nothing, maybe it was also a big fat lie. Is that true? Well, according to the police report, no stolen goods were found, so... Enough! I trust no one now! It's not the mouse's fault, though, sir. I see with my own eyes. I must investigate crime scene myself. I'm afraid that won't be... yes, it is, Runo. Easily. Sorry. With the prints from Hurley's red-headed recorder. Oh. If you compare the print pictures... if you compare the print that pictures Ginny and the next print from half an hour later, You'll be able to see straight away if anything was taken or not. Yeah, I wanted to kind of look at that, but I only seem to be able to look at the one, unfortunately. Cooey, Mr. Prosecutor. Tut tut. Calling out on the prosecution in the middle of a summation examination of all times. The print showing the accused threatening the victim after she broke the shop is this one. Following this, the victim and the accused moved into the storeroom. Meanwhile, the Skulkin brothers entered the shop and summarily heard the fatal gunshot ring out. Sadly, none of these events were captured on film. This is the print produced by the camera half an hour later, after the brothers' flight. So, this was taken after Hurley was shot then? As far as I can tell, nothing has been taken. That does seem to be the case. No. Because the camera, it moved. Which means it probably got bumped when something near the camera was being taken, so we had to talk to the stereoscope guy. I can't notice anything that's obviously missing in the second print. So, the brothers who look like criminals are told only one lie. They shot the man, but they stole nothing. It would seem so, yes. Good. No, not good. You were right. I did not understood situation. Now I know brothers have lied. I think it is very important to continue the trial. Well, thank you, my friend. Oh, yay! Well done, Reno. The balance is shifting. Well, it's a start, I suppose. But there must be more in what these jurors are saying that I can use to expose the truth. And if I can do that, we might just turn the situation around in our favor still. Thank you, Counsel. Continue with the summation examination. And kindly hand the new photographic print to the bailiff. Be filed as evidence. Oh, yes. I do need to look at that. I do. Also, I would like to know. As much as I would love to do this entire chapter today, I think the cut in the inside of the mouth might stop me a bit early. I hope not. Another print in the court record. I wonder if I can make use of that. I mean, I said the same thing yesterday, but then I ended up being completely fine. So I'm hoping today that I am in fact completely fine. But we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Now let's see. Next up, we need to go over to Mr. Stereoscope. But before that, I need to go into my court record and take a look at the new photos. Can I not compare them? Well, I mean, I can see even here that they're shifted. So, if I talk to him again, will he let me look at it in stereo? Maybe. Maybe? Let's see. If I do talk to him again, does he let me look at it in stereo? They're the same so far. Or maybe I just need to inspect it myself. No, this is all the same so far. Okay, I guess we'll have to inspect it ourselves then. If we look at this thing up here... Oh, we can't! The magnifying glass isn't actually a reticle that we can inspect with. Oh, that is unfortunate. Okay, fine. Let's talk to, juror number 5. We haven't spoken with her yet. Sorry, radio transmission? What do you mean? Are you from the Far East? Stop. Yes, from the Empire of Japan. All communication with Far Eastern nations used to take place by mail. Royal Mail steamers take more than a month to complete the journey. Ah, but now we have the electric telegram, so we can send messages using electrical signals. Thousands of miles of cables have been laid along the ocean beds, connecting the entire world. Thousands of miles of cable? On the ocean bed? Makes my head hurt just thinking about it. You are well informed, young lady. But cables will soon become a thing of the past. Stop. And just when I was starting to catch up. Radio transmission is the future. Stop. Messages carried out over airwaves to the four corners of the globe. Stop. Excitement growing. Stop. Atmosphere electric. Stop. Alright. Try not to wear out your fingers. Era of wireless telegraphy. Stop. Driving technological revolution. Stop. And people say inventions like the stereoscope are the height of technology. What utter piffle. I can't understand it. I really can't. They're just silly little toys. Juror number 3. Sorry to interrupt when you're obviously fuming, but... What? Do you perhaps have something to say about juror number 5's last remark? As if I couldn't guess. Oh, you bet I do! Say that again. Go on, I dare you. Goodness, are you talking to me? I think he might just be, yes. You think stereoscopes are just toys, do you, huh? Absolutely. I mean, really. A machine that views photographs in 3 dimensions. Why on earth would you not just use your eyes to look at the world around you? It's all 3-dimensional. What a great way to appease the man. No, I'm sorry. Stereoscopes are of no practical use at all. You just don't know. Pardon? I think you'll find that viewing a photograph through a stereoscope can unlock all sorts of possibilities. And I'm obviously going to have to demonstrate. What sort of possibilities? Well, take a crime scene, for example. If you had a pair of photographs from a crime scene that you could view through a stereoscope, it could reveal hidden clues you never noticed before. What? Not really, but it will in this particular case. Have you got any, Bruno? Any prints that we could look at with a stereoscope? How about this print here? That should do the trick, I think. Alright then, juror number 3. Are you saying you could do this with any 2 suitable photographic prints? Of course I can! Very well then. I'd like you to demonstrate. I'd be delighted to. Just give me one more print, and I'll amaze you all. Alright, these 2 prints were both taken with the same camera in the Whitney Banks on the night in question. Yes, I see. Tell me, Mr. Lawyer, do you know how these stereographic images work? Do you understand the principle? Well, I think so. I did have a lesson only yesterday. The left and right eye images need to be the same, only with a slight shift in the position of the objects. Then, when your brain merges the 2 images together inside your head, it notices the shift as if it were depth. Yes, exactly! It's that small shift between certain objects in the 2 pictures that is really important. So, what happens if you use 2 photographs that are the exact same, then? No, obviously that wouldn't work at all. Not for seeing the same scene 3-dimensionally, anyway. Of course, and now I see. I think the young girl has discovered the secret. I have. Oh, I love whenever they're looking at you cross-eyed. It's so funny. Can you uncross your eyes before you tell me? Have another look at these 2 pictures from Hurley's camera, Bruno. Go on. Can you see there's really a really obvious difference between them? Of course there is. There are 2 people in the first and no people in the second. Well, yes, you can see that straight away, but now... Try looking at the picture in 3 dimensions. Alright, I'll give it a go. So to start with, you gotta cross your eyes, then try to make the 2 pictures overlap exactly. Well, let's see if by crossing my eyes I can make the quill pens from each picture overlap in the middle. Are they gonna actually ask me to do this, or are they gonna do a visual demonstration? Wait. Well, did you manage to see it properly, Renault? I mean, I did earlier, but I didn't need to look at it in stereoscope, I just noticed. Oh, wait! What's going on with these 2 pictures? Some of the things on the counter they sort of jump out at you. Oh, and Von Zykes, of course, uses an actual mechanism for it. Can't have him looking silly after all. Yes, that's it, you see. That's the other amazing power of stereoscopes. That other amazing power? Is someone going to explain this black magic, eh? Why the deuce do some of the images things on the counter seem to jump out like that? I think you'll find that, if you consider the basic principle of the stereoscope, you'll answer your own question. Basic principles of the stereoscope. As I said before, if you try to look at the two identical pictures using a stereoscope, it won't work at all. And that's that slight shift in the position of certain objects that lets you see the pictures three-dimensionally. In other words, even though at first glance, it seems the objects on the counter haven't moved at all between the two pictures, this shows there must have been a slight shift in their positions. Yes, there must have been. Now, hold there, sir. Got a reasonable grasp of the whole cross-eyed business now, I'd say. But why the devil does the shift between the two prints exist in the first place? Well, what's the answer, fellow? Come on, you're the cross-eyed master. What? Me? I haven't the first idea. You know, Bruno, it's quite simple. It is? Just think it through step by step. The first photograph was taken at 1 AM. Then, 30 minutes later, the second photograph was taken. But the position of the items on the counter appears to have shifted slightly in the interim. So that means that sometime in the half-hour interval, someone must have tampered with the things on the counter. Zookers! Ah, yes, bye-bye, I'll see you later then. And you don't worry, you probably won't miss too much, because I mentioned earlier that the cut in my mouth is bothering me. It really is. So we will probably end at the to be continued, which would make this a short stream, but it's technically normal length because we started late. Someone tampered? New information, stop. I'm not mentioning a testimony so far, stop. There's a chance I go past that, though. Yes. We've had to go around in circles a little here, it seems. But I'm starting to see what I should be aiming at in this simulation examination now. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is now clear. We know that the items on the countertop were moved, but by whom? Are you suggesting you might know? Of course. I can tell you right now who is responsible for the almost imperceptible shift in the items on the counter. Okay. Well, it would be the brothers, obviously. Well, there's two of them. Do I just present one of them? It was the witnesses currently in the stand. The Skulkin brothers. Wait. Wait. That does not agree with the brothers said in testimony before. They said they did not even have time to pull dukes from Lucy Lockets. My phrasebook says dukes is meaning hands, and Lucy Lockets is meaning pockets. But is this another lie? Is this what you are saying? Yes, I'm afraid so. Now, hold on there a minute. You can't be sure of that. I quite agree. The accused is a common pick purse, after all. It's perfectly possible that she went through the things on the desk to see what she might steal. I think that's unlikely. And why, exactly? As you can see from this photographic print, the defendant was pointing a gun at the victim. It would seem, as my learned friend indicates, that she was coercing Mr. Windybank to open the storeroom door. In other words, Miss Lestrade's interests lay within the storeroom, not in the main shop, giving her no reason to touch anything on the counter. All of which points to one thing. The Skulkin brothers have omitted key facts in their testimony. But the accused is a pick purse, common gutter trash. Why look any further for the wrongdoer here? Because the Skulkin brothers are thieves, madam. No better, and in fact worse, than a pick purse. I believe that these brothers were looking for something on the victim's counter that night. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you condemn the defendant on the grounds that she's a pickpocket, would it not at least be right and proper to thoroughly scrutinize the testimony given against her by two thieves? Well said. I, for one, would like to hear more of that shady pair. I'm still not sure what to do with his voice. Can you all see now? I think you'll find stereoscopes aren't playthings. You've seen their extraordinary potential firsthand. Wholeheartedly agree. Stop. Must purchase after trial. Stop. Will return home via Regent Street. Stop. Well, it would seem this trial has yet to run its course. The ladies and gentlemen of this jury have declared their inclinations via the mighty scales of justice. I hereby call this summation examination to conclusion with the balance altered in the defendant's favor. 2 lean to guilty, 4 lean to not guilty. Accordingly, the jury is without consensus. And I order this trial to continue. Oh, yay, we've well done. Oh, by the way. What? You should hold on to this, Runo. You never know when it might come in useful. Twice in one trial would be unusual, surely. But, alright. You know, weirder things have happened in the end of these games. Lord von Zykes, you will instruct the witnesses in the court. You instruct the witnesses that the court demands additional testimony from them. I'm sure it won't spoil the bouquet to do so, my lord. I've won myself another chance to probe the pair about their activities that night at least. And I won't stop probing them until I've proven that Gina is innocent. Oh, and to be continued. Okay, you know what? This is super early, but I do have to call it. I mean, technically we're not calling it early. This is actually when we usually end. But, my god, my mouth... oh, that's the wrong one. Here's the thing, it isn't even the same cut as yesterday. This is a new cut on my mouth. I don't even know what got me. I've been eating soft foods, you know, just chicken and rice, trying to make sure not to mess with it. Because here's the thing, I'm experienced with having cuts on the inside of my mouth. Yeah? I had braces. And so it was a rather common thing. And even now I have a retainer, which I have not been wearing because I'm trying to let the cuts heal. And yet, it is still so terribly bothersome. Oh, it sucks. I hate it. Oh, man. Okay. We will finish this game tomorrow. I promise you. We will. We will stay here for 8 hours if that is what it takes, because I actually have the time tomorrow. I said at the start of this week that today would probably be a short stream, and it did end up being a short stream, but not for the reasons I thought it would be. I thought we were going to have a certain thing, an incident, if you will. Not an incident, a thing I had scheduled that I was going to have to leave early for. That got canceled, postponed, however you want to say. And that's going to end up happening Saturday, I believe now. I'll have to double check. But the point is, it's that thing didn't happen. A new thing has happened instead. That new thing being my mouth hurt really bad. So with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. This has been See You Scuffed. And I am signing off. I will see you all tomorrow. Let's go raid Swordmaid. Have we raided Swordmaid before? I don't think we have. Yeah, no, I don't think we have. Let's go. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Wait. Is this the right button? Oh god, I always forget. Hold on. There it is. Okay, bye-bye.